Ian Eisendrath. Spring Red Velvet. Espa. And somebody who's featured on this soundtrack twice. And Ian, of course, is an award-winning and Grammy-nominated music supervisor and producer. Ian is the executive music producer of K-pop Demon Hunters. I think this film has resonated so deeply.
They're bangers. I think it's because, I think it's like so cool, like the hybrid of K-pop and theater. That was such a fresh kind of sound. And I think that really caught the attention of a lot of audience, like the audience, and also just, K-pop is incredibly maximalist, I would say, and there's a lot of parts to it, and we had to match this energy of the animation, because animation is incredible, right? So that, and I think the music was just so powerful with all, not just sonically, but the message and the lyrics just was what a lot of people resonated with. I think, like you said, authenticity, even for me, I connected so much to the character in the movie in so many different levels, because I used to be a K-pop trainee for a very, very long time. And I did, eventually get dropped, but that whole process was very painful.
Everything happens for a reason.
It did. Really. But that was a huge lesson, and also went through a lot of different emotions, and I think that's what helped me able to write songs and music, and especially with K-pop Demon Hunters, I really try to bring that personal touch into the writing, I think, and also into the singing, to be honest. So, did you know, when I sang Golden's demo, I cried. I did, yeah, because I was going through a hard time, and I didn't know it was a song I needed, but the bridge section and the whole line of I'm done hiding, it's just it hits different. It's simple, but it hits, so yeah, I think maybe that's why.
I totally see that, and this film has just some more of the sketches, but we do have
what was super interesting.
Here's some of the color sequencing that Ian was mentioning. Look at that.
Yeah, one super interesting thing that I didn't know.
One constant. You were the one constant where you really helped as a songwriter. You approached this as a songwriter first, which was amazing. And so you really helped sketch out sort of the feeling for things too, I think.
I did want to ask EJ, what was it that made you commit to this project so entirely with your whole heart?
Oh, definitely my whole heart, soul, everything. Yeah, my throat, my lungs. Well, when I first heard about it, it's the first major studio animated film based in Korea. I love animation. I've never seen that. I want to see K-pop animated. That is so cool, and I think that got me so excited. And the Korean culture is so rich, with food, music, K-beauty. And just visually, I've never seen Korea, Korea Seoul City itself animated ever. So I've always wanted to see that, and also the message was just so beautiful. And it was just such a cool process because these legends here, it's just it's so cool to be working with everyone here, and everyone just doing such an incredible job. Just again, collaboration is a huge key of this whole film, and I was just honored to be be working alongside with such legends here. Seriously. And yeah, I think that's why I got into the film and
oh my god,
movie.
It's so true. It's an incredible roster of talent. You mentioned a couple of them. Teddy, these are songwriters. Teddy, The Black Label, Jenna Andrews, Stephen Kirk, Mark Sonnenblad, Lindgren. How long did it take the team to strike gold with the collaboration here? Now, wait, there it is. Just look at how many people it takes. about being.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you can speak a little to the song pieces, but it's like, I just feel like if you look at the film, right,
Well, really, it was just like, there were, Korean people in the project as well. And, if you're Korean, we love K-drama. And like, and Maggie knows her K-drama. She knows her K-pop. So when I saw those moments of I was like one of my favorite scenes. It was so funny, the meet cute scene with Shinu. I laughed so hard.
It was like so our barometer, right? It was,
So
she's
good.
the biggest K-pop fan ever. So, we would play these songs for her.
That song is just next level. What was this process for you like as a songwriter, specifically with Golden?
So, like, it's really interesting because, like, it's very different from, like, my K-pop writing and from writing for K-pop Demon Hunters. With K-pop writing, it's like you kind of go in this studio or, like, a session or a camp, and you're, like, with a producer and a co-writer, and then you're done with the song, and you're done. And, we never have to, like, work on it unless it gets cut for, like, a title track or something. There are a couple, like, back and forth with the A&Rs, but it's not much that collaborative, but with K-pop Demon Hunters, it truly is a huge, like, it's not just the producers and the co-writers, it's also the executive music producer as well, and like with Spring and everybody, like we all had to, with the studio with Sony Animation and Netflix, like we would always get feedback, and it was a constant feedback to fine tune, like to make sure it's not just a cool sounding track in a song, like literally everything, like every single harmony, every single lyric, every single structure of the song had to make sense because again, it's part of the film. It's not just a sync song. It's part, literally, like we crafted the song to make sure it fits the film. And on top of that, every sound of the track, right? We had a lot of feedback from, Spring and Ian, and like just like again, it was really important to get that guideline from also the directors. Oh my God. And the directors, making sure their vision is executed with the song. So that was like a really interesting experience for me and eye-opening as well, and really did, lots of revisions, and like really truly helped me grow as a songwriter, seriously. And with Golden was the same process with that. And when I was, it was. The track was obviously a banger itself because of Black Label, like Teddy, 24, Ito, they're like legends and they're really amazing. And I remember when I heard the track, I was like, what? Oh my goodness, like it was kind of my favorite track of the whole, I mean the soundtrack's amazing by the way, but I just love Golden's track. It had this like bitter, like not so happy, but kind of bittersweet, but still hopeful. It had the energy already, so the inspiration came really instantly, the melody specifically. And like the hook kind of came to me in the car on my way to the dentist. It's like a story everyone knows now, but like it really happened there, and that's how much it was so moving for me. And when the melody came out, I had to record it. And then I was so excited to come home. I still remember like that day was like we had other recordings with Maggie because we had to record free. And I told Maggie and Chris, I think you were there too, yeah. And I was like, you guys, this track is pretty fire, Golden. Be excited. Do you remember that?
Well, yeah, and I think we had like 5 Golden tracks before that one.
Yeah.
And no, there was a moment, the second,
Yeah.
we spent a lot of time with Black Label going back and forth. We'd figure out what's the beat, what's the harmony, what do we tempo-wise, and this one arrived before the incredible melody and lyric and everything was added to it, but everyone was just like, oh, that's the energy, because it could have easily been really cheesy, because this super inspirational song, but it had this yearning, we're so close, we can feel it, but not totally there.
Still pop and modern.
Yeah. So anyway, so you got the track.
Yeah, and then I got the track. So I was super excited because I had a session with Mark, and I was like, so we did the Zoom session. I was like, oh my God, Mark. Before the Mark came on, I would usually my process is like I would lay a bunch of melodies down, because I also vocal produce myself, so I just kind of like add the harmonies. When I hear the harmony, I just put it down, even if it's just gibberish, no lyric on it. So we put the like 3 different ideas down with the hook there, and Mark heard it, and Mark was like, EJ, this is amazing. And so we Frankenstein the melody together. And what's so crazy is like, in my demo, or in my gibberish like melody, in my voice memo, you could hear me going, and then in the melody that I put gibberish, I laid down on my Ableton, I literally say, golden, chosen, or something like that. And then I remember Mark was like, wait, I wrote this lyric called gonna be golden, like gonna be golden. I was like, wait, gonna be golden. It's like perfect. So it was like meant to be.
It was serendipitous.
It was so it was like, what is going on? And like we wrote the first part of the song, and you know, it was like when we were finished, I remember Mark and I were looking at, you know, each other on Zoom, and I was just like, wait, this is a smash. Like, wait, it's a hit.
Instant hit.
Instantly. And then I was so excited to send it to Ian. And we sent it to Ian. And I remember your response, I screenshotted it. It said, this is massive. This is a smash. And I was so excited. And then, you know, obviously after that, you know, still, you know, we had to rework the lyrics, lots of fine tuning. Again, still, it wasn't done. The inspiration would have been fast, but no, the song, it still took a long time to make sure it fit the storyline. You know, obviously with Spring and, you know, the studio and, you know, Ian, you would, like, the directors would give us all these notes. But, like, again, that is what it takes to create a huge song that breaks the fourth wall. You know what I mean?
Do you have that special little something to
Do
play
I have
for
that
them?
special?
I think we have a special little something.
Yeah, I have a battery. I have that dentist way. Let me just show you.
Who knew that the dentist could be so
No.
inspiring?
It was on the way to dentist.
On the way to the dentist. Let's
To
not
get-
give the dentist all the credit.
To get gold fillings, by the way. I swear it's meant to be. So this is the first one. The first one I was like, it was the on a B melody. You hear that? Yeah, it's quite quiet. Yeah, that was in the car. But yeah, here, there's another one. This is the hook.
It's definitely there. It's definitely all there.
Okay, and then I was like, oh, I laid that down, and when I laid it down, I had no idea how high it was.
I mean, I'm just gonna say, like, EJ created a great challenge for herself. Like, the range of this song, I honestly, it's like more than 2.5 octaves, and so recording EJ was an amazing, like, honor of my career. But when we got to this moment, she was like, I don't know if I can do it, and she did it like 20 times. But we just kept doing it over and over again. But now she has to do it live on Tuesday. She gave herself like a gymnastic event that we're looking forward to hearing. Yes, I know.
And she gave everybody the ultimate sing in the shower. So.
Yeah, you know, it's a great karaoke song as well. It's so much fun to sing. It's a challenge.
Oh my gosh, you guys. No, I mean, and then there's like the sing-alongs also that happened at the theaters. Like, how cool was that? Did you guys go? How was that for you to see that become an experience of its own, where people are showing up to the theaters and singing along and really feeling the lyrics and everything?
Oh my god, I cry. It's too much crying for the past 2.5 years. It's like, did you guys go? Right? Oh my god.
Ken Jeong was at ours, and he was like, what just happened? He was like, this is the biggest thing. I was like, Hangover. He's like, no, this.
Yeah, I went to, obviously, there was a sing-along at Netflix, but I also just, like, went secretly to we went in Virginia, my fiance, we were in Virginia for that weekend, and, like, we were just kind of like, should we, like, go sneak in and just, I wore my mask and a hat, and I went in, and oh my god, the kids, and not just the kids, like the adults as well, like all genders, all races, seriously, like non-Koreans all singing Korean lyric was just so beautiful. And like, you know, it was really the directors and everyone's idea to have Korean lyrics in the hook as well. So that meant so much to me, you know, and I wish I watched this growing up, for me too. So I was just like so jealous. But like I was like, you know, it was just like so crazy to see that, and it was so beautiful, and I cried. And what's so crazy is after I came out, they recognized me. Like, are you the singer for Ruby? And I'm like, what? I had a mask on. It was just, but it was crazy. But like, yeah, it was the most beautiful experience ever.
Oh my gosh, I saw some clips of it, and I was borderline tearing up too, because it's beautiful to see that type of representation. What was it like for you to see like the final design of your character? I know that you mentioned earlier that you felt, you know, you resonated with some of the lyrics and some of the storytelling in this film, but what was it like for you to see that final design, that final version of this character that you gave a voice to?
Oh my God, that's also like, oh, beautiful. It was very beautiful. I was like, wow, she's beautiful. But, I was like, Maggie killed it with the hair. And lavender is literally my favorite color. Like, not kidding. This is all crazy, seriously. It was so beautiful, and when I watched it, like, shout out to Arden. She killed it with that. I was like, oh my God, that's exactly what I would imagine Rumi's voice to sound like. And like, you know, the design and everything was so beautifully done, and the way it would sing, like the detail. Wow, it was just like such an incredible experience to watch that.
I'll add to that too, like in the animation process, what you tend to see when you sort of see the behind the scenes is that the animated characters really do. We obviously have a different voice actor, but like the singing, you know, like you really do become the animated. It's the animated version of EJ singing. It's literally your heart and spirit. The animators take that.
Yeah.
And they put it on the screen.
That's something that struck me when I first saw the film. I'm like, oh my God, because then I went and I watched obviously every single interview of you guys ever. And then I was like, oh my God, like they match so perfectly. And not just the singing voices, but also the actual voice actors.
But the singing voices, oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
I think it's wild. Like, I don't think we even realized until halfway through, it's like these three singers that we cast are these characters. We were rehearsing last week with the three of them, and it was like, oh my gosh, you leapt off the screen.
It felt like you popped out of the screen, like with Ray. When she, you didn't have to vocal direct her, because she was just like, Sarah, get it together! Like,
And Audrey,
do it again!
Amazing.
Audrey is the coolest.
Coolest.
Like, you see her, she's
Got that
just like,
swagger.
oh, so good to see you. Like, it's so cool. And Ray's like, it was just so crazy to see that.
I think that's like probably one of the strongest parts of this film is the direct parallels to the actual, just everything that you see in K-pop in real life. We have a clip of Twice at Lollapalooza, but the drone show, which obviously we saw that in the film. So I'm going to play it a little bit, and then I'd love for
Just to tee that up, this was the 10th year anniversary for Twice. So they were the first K-pop girl group to actually headline.
Guys, can we get some applause for that?
And just for the way that this converged, that this was happening with them, and the movie was starting to run, and the music was starting to fly. We had 8 days to put this drone together. And Netflix was so gracious. They said, we will fund it. You guys just run. And nobody knew. Nobody knew it, because usually drones, like everybody does fireworks, but the drone shows were new territory. And I think the longest drone until ours went up was maybe about 40 something. So it was never 4.5 minutes. So they were all teed up in the back. Nobody knew if it was going to but it went off, and we were just like, all of us were just like crying. We're like, this is actually going to work. So just to see that, see what that was about.
And also, just a quick thing, like Twice at that time was like, what's going
Oh
on?
yeah, and then because
Really?
you're rehearsing so long lead, right, and it's all the choreography. We just threw the singer and like, could you perform Takedown? And they're just like, it kind of threw a wrench into everything that they had been choreographing for months. And so they thought about it, and they went, yes, we're gonna do. So they just wanted to support.
Wow, that's so
yeah.
special.
Yeah.
But so did they know about the film and like kind of the
Oh.
storyline or anything
Oh.
at that point?
Oh no, this was a Lollapalooza after the movie.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay,
so this is
all right, let's see it.
But yeah.
Beautiful. Bonding moments in the studio with the other collaborators, or how were you able to really kind of hone in on these characters?
Well, I think, I didn't get to really, we were not in the studio together. We're all separate, Yeah, like I would be in the studio for like 6 hours and then, so it's all separate. But I would we would kind of when they're done, I would meet them. That's when I was like, whoa, you're like Zoe. And like, oh my God, hi Mira. But yeah, we kind of did separately, but it was truly Ian and Maggie and Chris too, they had to, you guys were very much it's the direction that was really important. They did an incredible job just being able to blend the voice acting and the singing voices together, and also not just that, but with Audrey and Ray and I to blend the voices together, right? You really did. I heard from them, made them do multiple takes to make sure it comes out perfectly. So it was really Ian had a huge part in that of just making sure that we all sound great together and harmonize perfectly together, each still showing each character how they sing. Because again, it's not about just Audrey and Ray how they sing, it's about how Zoe sings, how Mira sings. And they brought that out a lot. I mean, again, with the direction. And for me too, it was truly Maggie, Chris, and what they wanted Rumi to be, and then Ian kind of translating that and kind of telling me, you guided me a lot with how Rumi should sound like. And I learned so many adjectives from you, you know that? There's so much.
I'll say also, finding the sound of Huntrix, which really generated from EJ. I think it's something we built on, but in those early demos, EJ has this ferocious, not only sound, but approach to how she writes. And so that became our guiding principle, and then it was about bringing everyone around.
And it's crazy. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, it's so weird too, though, because it's really in real life, though, you really it is true. You guys really are that. It is just the most bizarre thing.
So bizarre.
It's so weird.
Yeah, we didn't know until they came into the studio because
Yeah.
we cast by Sonic, just listening.
Yeah.
And
So you didn't even see them.
No.
I swear, the universe just.
I had a really weird moment though, because I did finally see them. I was pitching to Audrey to play, that she should be Mira, but the animation that arrived for me to show her was Zoe, and she's like, oh, she's so cute, and I started texting our directors. I'm like, Audrey seems like a Mira. Are you sure? They're like, oh, sorry, wrong one. And so then I had to backtrack. Audrey, I know you love Zoe, but check out this character. You gotta really love her.
Genius.
Oh my gosh, I wish they were here. I wish they were
It was,
here.
you know how crazy it is? It was Ray and Audrey, they would accidentally call me Rumi.
Oh.
And I would call Ray Zoe.
Yeah.
That's how crazy it is.
Oh my gosh, Ian, can you speak to a little bit about their collaboration, Ray and Audrey, in this film? And since they're not here, just anything you can
They're
share.
hilarious.
They're so amazing.
Yeah, Spring and I got to see them both, was it 2 weeks ago? Yeah, we were rehearsing them for an upcoming appearance, which we're excited about. And I remember you and I were both watching and we were like, they're just so much fun, the three of them. And it's really amazing watching them, because they didn't record together. They didn't know each other, really. And so all of a sudden they become this trio, and it's like sisters up there. It's really amazing to watch.
It's amazing, and the wildest thing that we've experienced, right, is that we created this animated fantasy story, and now it's real. It's popping off the screen.
The fourth wall, right?
Just also the virality. How much is
Yes.
it taken off? Cats wearing Rumi.
The Halloween costumes.
Yes.
Crazy.
Who here is gonna dress up as K-pop Demon Hunters for Halloween? we're so excited. You guys better share pictures. But yeah, it's totally a cultural. It's been a shift. It has definitely been a shift. But yeah, what do you guys think makes this soundtrack different from other?
But my favorite TikTok meme is like it's like a dad and the kids watching K-pop teenagers and they're like, oh, whatever. And they're like, wait. and then like suddenly change into Ruby and they're like dancing to Golden. It's so much fun.
Who has the wig?
With the wig, yeah. Did you see that one? I love that one.
Yeah, I think it struck a balance because it's, like you said, it's a very real life theme. It's a very real life lesson, but there's so many moments in it that just make you feel very connected to it and you resonate with it, especially, you know, being Gen Z. Like, there's just so many moments where you're like, I feel seen by this. And it's incredibly powerful. But
I love that so much.
yeah. I mean, so there have been, you know, lots of, see, we're thirsty. Who's thirsty for more? That's what I thought. And we obviously know that you guys will be on Fallon next week, EJ and Ray and Audrey. Woo! Yeah, Fallon is but, you know, without giving too much away, what excites you? I'd love to hear from all of you, but what excites you the most about taking this beyond the screen? And I'm thinking about the sing-alongs, I'm thinking about this performance. What is exciting to you about being a part of this project and now seeing it translated in so many different ways?
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's not a lot we can say about what's to come. We can say that there are some exciting things to come. And I think for right now, the way that I'm seeing it is like just this wave of love that we're receiving back and how to kind of just put that back in different ways and to reach people. That's really what it's about.
I think it also just shows you how music connects people. It doesn't disconnect people. It does the opposite.
I think a lot of us, just personally speaking, are like so excited. This means we get to keep seeing each other and creating together. I think it's just such a special group of people. So like I'm just so excited to keep running into everyone and doing things together.
I mean, also like being Korean American, I'm just so proud.
Even Asian American.
No, seriously, Asian
So really
American too.
proud.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like
Because you don't see movies like this. They're just like historical or immigrant stories that are very serious. Like this feels just like for once.
yeah.
It was made for everybody, but you're looking at just the entire film is
Yeah.
you know,
An Asian American woman as an Asian
yeah,
American woman.
and also the female empowerment
Yes.
aspects that you can do.
So yeah.
Also, because I think the ladies have to be a part of this too, is that it invited the guys in, you know, and I think it's up to the
Another
ladies to protect the
shallow,
guys
and there's
too.
a little no.
Yeah, but you look at how sweet Bobby is, and the boys, you know, and I do think it's very important for us ladies to protect the boys, and I think it's also incredible that it really did invite everybody
Everyone, truly.
in that way.
Oh yeah, that's so true.
Are you so excited to finally be able to sing these songs and on stage and with your co-star?
Yes.
Just say yes.
Yes, she's thrilled.
It's just so funny because when we're recording the songs, Ian's like, "Oh my god, you're a star." I can't wait for you to perform it. And I was like, "Ooh."
And we're like, no, I'm never gonna do this.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm so excited because, oh my god, rehearsal was so much fun. Again, with Ray and Audrey, they're so funny. Without them, like, Golden's a hard song, right? But without them, like, I don't think, it's just, they give me so much strength to sing, and they're amazing artists themselves. So I honestly learned a lot just watching them perform, because, you know, I haven't performed in so long. But, like, it was just so fun. And now I feel very confident, so excited, and I mean, I think we sound pretty good, right?
Amazing!
Yeah. But yeah, no pressure.
No, we're so excited for that, and we're so excited for you.
Thank you.
But given the success, you know, of this project, I'd like to hear from each of you of like from your personal sectors of entertainment. How do you see this film influencing the future of film, of K-pop, of literally anything? I know that's a big question.
So much. I think it will challenge a lot of not just studios, but you know, music labels and singers and artists, everyone to challenge to be more open to experimenting, you know, and like mixing different things together, and like you know, I think that's kind of a big thing, and especially with K-pop, at least I think I feel like K-pop has been sounding a little bit more like going that Western route, like very pop sound. And you know, one thing that I think K-pop Demon Hunters is so beautiful is that it's really authentically like K-pop. K-pop's about like mixing genres. It's like K-pop's interesting, you know what I mean? It's like suddenly it's like, you know, on the beat, and suddenly it's like halftime, and then suddenly like reggae comes in, and then like, you know, like, and then like it's just like that's the beauty of K-pop. You don't know what's next, you know, and different melodies and all that. And K-pop Demon Hunters really showcase that, and I think honestly, a lot of labels are like, wait, what? Like, okay, and they're coming back, and they're like trying to come back to that, and like knowing that it's beautiful, you know, for what it is. But yeah, I think that's kind of what I think is happening.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm excited that it's not your standard issue musical. Like, I think it's going to change what people think.
Risky one. I think for me, it was like, I think like, you know, because K-pop is so like trendy, right? So we have to fit the wave of the trend. So I was like kind of scared because like, we wrote this like years ago, and I was just scared that because K-pop moves so fast, like would it still be cool when it comes out? And so like when it came out, that was kind of a risk, you know. I didn't know if it would do well in the States, but also like having Korean lyric in it, you know, because usually when I see these, like it's usually all in English or something. But that was what's amazing about, again, like the team and Sony Animation, like kind of making that risk. No, that's what I'm saying. I was so, as a Korean person, I was like, ooh, and it's in the hook. It's not in the verse, it's in the hook. So that was just so beautiful, and that was a risk, but now I see everyone singing, "Yoni Kejusu," it's so awesome. Yeah, so that was fun.
Super awesome. I would love to just end this conversation by asking you, I always ask this at the end of my interviews, is what's something that you're manifesting for the next year?
You want to go heavy or you want to go light?
Light to heavy.
We can say we're working on Goat. Yeah, we're working on a movie called Goat.
Sounds like somebody did.
Yay! Yay! So this is the Spring Dana duo, which always starts with a call from Spring. I've got a weird thing, which you want to come to the party. So we're super excited about this one, and it will come out February 13th. Go.
Go.
K-pop. Continuing.
Yay.
K-pop. I'm excited about where it goes.
And EJ is a songwriter.
Yes.
Yeah, as a songwriter, I'm very excited to collab with a lot more people and work on more projects and work with artists in all over the world, you know, in the US as well. And even, you know, as an artist too, I am gonna release music. Because I never really thought of myself as an artist. But you would always be like, no, EJ, you are. And you're like, I'm like, no, I'm not. But now I'm like, wait, what is not being an artist to me? And I was like, wait, songwriting is art, right?
Yes.
So maybe that's like my approach to what an artist is.
And we had a
Being songwriter.
conversation. You're your own artist.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Is there anybody that you want to collab with that you want to manifest right now on the stage?
Oh my god, there's too many.
Let's just set the intention now.
Like me as EJ?
Yeah, cool.
Sabrina Carpenter. Yeah, oh my god, John Bellion. Yeah, I just want to learn. Even like, obviously like Rihanna.
That would be let's get them all out. Let's get them all out.
Like,
They might
so
see this, I
many.
don't know.
Oh gosh, yeah. So that's like definitely.
Oh, we're so excited for you.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
All right. A lot of the songs for K-pop Demon Hunters feel emotional. Are there life experiences you drew from when writing them? And feel free to share if you want to.
Definitely. like I said earlier, I really, really was so drawn to the character, and also, I mean, obviously the Korean part of it too. But you know, Rumi, I really see a lot of myself in her. She's a workaholic. She's a perfectionist. I am one too. And so, like, you know, just seeing her, you know, as a K-pop trainee, when I was one, you know, one of the hardest things I had to deal with was like trying to put my best foot forward, always trying to look perfect, hiding all the things I was ashamed of that I can't change about myself, or you know, like my insecurities, and always trying to look strong. And you know, it's a competitive field, so I think that's kind of, and how much that broke me inside, and like, you know, I ended up not being able to go through that process. So it just kind of, lots of pain in that, and like hurt. So I kind of, but like, you know, I saw a lot of that in Rumi, of like, you know, her always trying to like hide herself. You know, Golden is a bittersweet song, to be honest. Like, it is technically hopeful, you know, like she's reaching for her dream, but she's so focused on the dream that she kind of forgets about kind of facing her insecurities and facing her demons. And I think that's really important in, as a human being, to grow. It's not ignoring your flaws and your demons. It's to look at it, acknowledge it, know that it's there, because it will be there. We're not always good. And being empathetic towards it, right? It's kind of how you approach it. And I think that's what helped me grow, and that's why Ruby's story, like, Golden was so important, you know, in that story. But, you know, even what it sounds like, let the jagged edges meet the light instead. Like, that line too, and just like, you know, so when Ruby sings waited so long to break these walls down, to wake up and feel like me. And that, like, that part just, I cried so much, because, you know, oh God, don't make me cry. But yeah, like, I kind of like, you know, like the things I went through, it kind of like, in the lyric writing, it was healing, to be honest. And so when singing it, it wasn't hard to emote, because I definitely know how that feels.
Yeah, and we hear it, and we hear it. We hear it, and we relate. So good to it. Yeah, we hear it in the way that you use your vocals, and we relate, and that's, I think, a huge reason why this film has done so well, is because there is so much of you in it. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Love Liz.
Well, remains to be seen. Sorry.
That would be.
It would be. It really is amazing how the reception of that is, people just want it so bad. It's amazing. So no spoilers, a lot to come, but I do think it's pretty amazing that people are really rooting for them.
I forgot to ask you guys this earlier, but is there like a scene that really stands out to you that's like your favorite scene from the movie?
I mean, for me, there's so many, but I love Free. Free just makes me I just love it. And then the couch. I don't even know.
That part is so real.
Yeah, there's so many. But I switch all the time.
Free. It's so beautiful.
Oh, what it sounds like, the moment when she says, make a new home, and then you suddenly see her, as her true self, and it gets chills.
Ooh,
I think your idol is just so
You're
good.
so good.
And the artistry, it's just, you know, to me, it's the songs and it's just the animation with it. I just think it's like so insane. It does slays. I just think it's like slays.
Mine's still also the meet cute. That's just so iconic. The corn and the butter. It's so good.
And I really also want to give out a shout to our composer, Marcelo Zarvos, who did an incredible job. And I will just mention, you know, what's so funny, he was yet another person that I was like, just come do this, Marcelo. And I had actually worked with him with Anton Fuqua as a director, and he's one of his favorite composers, and I just pulled him over and he's like, hey, let's go. But you can see the level of melody, and everything was done on a very high scale. So
Yeah.
shout out to Mark.
And probably like all of the main big ones. but-
Maggie's talked about that, you know, and Maggie Carricker and Chris, and she really did have some real life inspirations, and it's sort of like a
A
mixture.
mixture of all the
It's-
best
yeah.
features. Yeah.
All the hot Korean guys.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes. No, and honestly, like if this was real life, it definitely would have worked. The Sajid boys.
It does, and I will add this other layer to it too, because K-pop has armies and it has opinions, and we really worked hard to keep it very neutral so that everybody was invited in. That was a very big conscious choice,
Yeah.
so that there wasn't that this is for me and this isn't for me. And I think that's representative of that.
100%. All right, next question. EJ, how can an artist stay resilient after so much rejection and just keep going? The gasoline of hope runs out a lot.
Whew. Yeah, I mean, oh my god, I wanted to give up every day. Like,
That's real deep.
it's real. Like, it's so hard. For me, I think it's like, oh gosh, you have to love what you're doing first of all, and also just always knowing that. Well, for me, it's also just my loved ones, like my mom, my fiance, and like my best friends. Like, it was so important to, like, even the movie. Like, sometimes you can't do it on your own. That's what Rumi says, right? You have to lean on. That's what resonates so much to me. Like, you sometimes, you know, in Korean culture, like, you have to, like, one of the biggest things about, you know, Korean people is they try not to burden other people with what they're going through, with their problems. So they try to do it themselves, but it's okay to lean on people you love sometimes. You can't do it alone. And I think that's what helped me a lot, is whenever I felt like I wanted to give up, you know, my fiance would be like, babe, like, you're killing it. Like, this is a great metaphor. What helped me a lot was hiking. Because when you hike, the process of going up, oh God, like my butt, it's like, it's so hard, but like, and you're sweating. And then when you just take a moment to stop and you're like, okay, and you look back, ooh, I went a long way. Like, that's so important. Is like, just when you keep going, you're not on a running machine. Like, you're going something. You're going somewhere. So that gave me a lot of hope. Like, you know what? I'm gonna do my best, and I know luck will come with it someday. And I think that's exactly what happened right now. I always give it your 100%. Never half it. You know, like. I always give it my 100% in any opportunity I do. Yeah.
I love that. I kind of answered this one, but I just want to put it out there just in case there's anything else you want to say. But will you be releasing any solo music in the near future? And there's a little smiley face like,
Yes, my manager told me to say this. Shout out there. Yes, I will be releasing a single soon.
Oh.
What is it right now? September? Oh wait, yeah.
October 2nd.
Oh my god, already? God. Sometime soon. So stay tuned.
Can we expect some more of that vulnerability in the songwriting? Or
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think songwriting is all about, like, you know, it is authenticity of, like, you know, what you're going through. I like to write songs where I feel like I can connect with the lyric, whether it be like a funny song or like I'm a bad girl, like, ooh, like that kind of song too. Like, sometimes I want to feel that too. But yeah, it all comes from, like, truth. I think, as corny as it might sound, like, I've seen a lot of interviews of songwriters, and that's actually what helps me pull through too. But they always say, like, when it comes from some honest place, like, that's when it really comes out. And yeah, I truly believe that. So every song I write, whether it's a love song, whether it's like I'm a bad, you know, like, you know what I mean? It comes from the heart, you know? Yeah.
Amazing. All right, last one here. He says, EJ, I adore you. Do you think anybody, in parentheses, like me, is able to sing like you? And this is from Dominica.
You know Andrew Choi, the voice of Chinu, he was actually my mentor when I started writing K-pop. One of the first things he told me was, if you can talk, you can sing. And so So absolutely, like during my K-pop trainee days at SM, there were artists, like SHINee. Like I've seen them from the very beginning to now. They are incredible singers now, and they weren't at one point, but they worked so hard and kept working hard every single day, hours and hours, imitation of like artists they love, like copy them a little bit, and then you'll find your sound. And trust me, even if you think you can't sing, if you practice, you can definitely sing. Like seriously, I'm not kidding.
Amazing.